The Philadelphia Flyers were back on the ice today in Voorhees 2 days after their big 6-3 win over Connor McDavid and the Edmonton Oilers. Noah Cates spoke on his ability to shut down McDavid in that game, and John Tortorella, for the first time, spoke on his experiences as an assistant coach for Team USA at the Four Nations Face-Off. I'm Charlie O'Connor with PHLY Sports, and these are your Flyers post-practice notes. So the Flyers had an off day on Sunday because it was the Flyers Charities Carnival, so all the players participated in that. But today, Monday, they were back on the ice for practice in anticipation of a home-and-home series against the Pittsburgh Penguins that starts on Tuesday at the Wells Fargo Center. Now, unsurprisingly, given how well the Flyers played on Saturday, the lines and pairs were the same today in practice as they were against the Oilers. Only change: Travis Sanheim did not skate today. Almost certainly he was just getting the day off because he's played a lot of hockey over these last couple of weeks, more than most given his contributions for Team Canada at that Four Nations tournament. Expect Sanheim to be in the lineup on Tuesday despite his absence from practice today. Otherwise, however, everything was the same, including the continued presence of that line that was so good on Saturday against the Oilers, the line of Sean Couturier, Owen Tippett, and Matvei Michkov. It tore up the Oilers. You had Michkov with 3 points. You had Tippett with 2 goals. You had Couturier with 3 points. Everybody was +5. Just a fantastic showing by that trio, and they will be together, it appears, for Tuesday's game against the rival Pittsburgh Penguins. It does seem like that line's going to get a little leeway, a little runway, and we'll see if they can continue their strong play. Going back to Saturday's game against the Oilers, though, I had a chance to speak after practice with Noah Cates, who was given the bulk of the matchup against McDavid and shut him down in 9 minutes against him. McDavid and his line mates could only manage 2 shots on goal at 5-on-5, so Noah Cates did a great job. Wanted to chat with him about how he pulled it off. And Kate said it wasn't the first time he's faced off against McDavid. He actually faced off against him quite a few times, faced off against him back in his rookie season when he was also just learning the center position at the NHL level. Now, Kate said that time was a lot more stressful. He said when he heard that he was going to be getting the matchup 2 years ago against McDavid, he was in shock. His thought was, holy smokes. This time, however, it's a little old hat for him. It's still obviously very stressful facing off against the best player in the world, just 2 days removed from winning the Four Nations face-off in overtime for Team Canada. But Cates believes he can handle the matchup and obviously did a great job against McDavid on Saturday. Cates also made it clear, though, that while he likes being used as a shutdown center, he likes the responsibilities, likes the trust that it implies, he doesn't want that to mean that when he's facing off against guys like McDavid, he's just playing defense. As he said, the best defense is a good offense. We talked a little bit about how Patrice Bergeron was viewed as the best defensive center in hockey, but he was still scoring 60-plus points every year. If Cates is going to be used as a shutdown center, a matchup center, he doesn't want that to come at the expense of his offense. He still wants to create chances and, in turn, create goals for the Philadelphia Flyers. We also had a chance after practice to talk to John Tortorella for the first time in a more relaxed setting, to get a chance to speak with him about his experiences with Team USA at the Four Nations tournament. John Tortorella was an assistant coach under longtime friend and colleague Mike Sullivan for the Americans at the tournament. So I asked Torts, obviously a long-standing NHL head coach, what his role was on the staff as an assistant under Sullivan. He said, especially in practices, he mostly faded into the background. He said that he let the pre-existing relationship between Mike Sullivan and David Quinn kind of take center stage in practices, managing the power play, things like that. But in games, Tortorella kind of served as maybe something of a consigliere to Sullivan in terms of managing the bench, dealing with line changes. Tortorella also had nothing but praise for Sullivan, who was the head coach for Team USA in the tournament. Now, Tortorella and Sullivan go way back. Sullivan was Tortorella's assistant in Tampa, in New York, and even in that 1 year in Vancouver, although Tortorella today called Sullivan more his co-coach back then than his assistant. These days, however, he has nothing but praise to toss at his former protege. He obviously coached under Sullivan at this tournament, got a chance to watch him up close, and it reaffirmed his belief that Sullivan is one of the best coaches, if not the top coach in the NHL per John Tortorella. Now, those comments are a little eyebrow-raising. Mike Sullivan, as Tortorella said, one of the most respected coaches in the NHL, current coach of the Pittsburgh Penguins, but the Penguins are in the midst of a rebuild. It might not be that long until the Penguins want to go a different direction at head coach, and John Tortorella isn't going to be coaching the Philadelphia Flyers forever. He's obviously in his late 60s. He said this is his last stop. So there's always been some theories that maybe, just maybe, Mike Sullivan could be a potential successor to John Tortorella if things break a certain way. I'm Charlie O'Connor with PHLY Sports. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.